Yes.
Okay, it's coming at you. That's all coming.
Beautiful.
Okay, I want to flag it. Let me know if you have any issues.
Okay. Sean, you hear me?
I can hear you.
So you're curling, you're live.
I
You've
can
got
see stuff, yes.
But when curling comes up, you'll be live, I mean.
Okay. No player mics yet?
No player mics, not yet. We've got Beth Farmer and Honoka Sasaki, Scotland team.
I'm going to guess that Farmer's the Scotland team.
Yes.
What is it with you giving me all the Japanese teams?
Good afternoon and welcome to live streaming from Sasktel Curling Stadium, Swift Current. My name's Jerry Gertz. I'm here to get this show started, joined by Sean Joyce. Welcome, Sean.
Hi, Jerry. Good afternoon, everybody, from wherever you're watching. Looking forward to a good matchup here this afternoon. Second game here for these teams already.
Yeah, we're getting into the action pretty quickly here. And, third draw of the day, 6 sheets here in Swift Current. We can put together a good, solid 28-team triple here at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. Final goes Sunday.
28 teams, and I was looking through the field earlier. Pretty impressive for an event like this in a center the size of Swift Current, that they've got 28 teams, and 13 of those teams are international teams. They have certainly drawn a good field here.
Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting way the schedule works out. A bunch of the teams that are here this weekend are slam teams, and they played last weekend in North Bay, and the plan is to play next weekend in Grand Prairie, and they need something to do. So the plan was, let's put together an event, and it ends up becoming kind of like the next gen, or Canadian next gen playing the world, which is kind of fun.
Certainly a good opportunity for these teams as well.
And of course, we've got Next Gen Scotland here in Beth Farmer, one of the skips of, sort of the next in line after Eve Muirhead. That's a pretty big torch to carry, but, they're all trying to forge their own path here.
The event action here Thursday afternoon. The two teams both played earlier today. Unable to come up with the victories in their opening match, looking to bounce back here in the B.
So just playing away from that corner guard.
Yeah, you have to think when they're playing away from a corner guard like that with last rock, they're thinking blank end here in the first already.
Yeah, it's interesting that they don't just hit it since it's so close to the rings.
It's on the fourth stone. They couldn't hit it.
Oh, yeah, that would do it. I'm also trying to switch another game here and do three other things.
I've got 5 screens on myself trying to get all the player names. And
this is the new age of curling broadcasting. You put all the screens up and we do this from home.
The thing that doesn't change with all of these events is that the two teams have a practice session before the game starts, and they throw a draw to the button to determine who's got last rock. And it is the Farmer team from Scotland throwing the red stones with last rock here in the opening end of play. To make the hit on that one stone in the rings. They'd like to stay somewhere in the rings. Stays right there. apologize in advance for all the mispronunciations I'm going to make on some of these names, but that is the second for the Japanese team. Miki Hayashi makes the hit. It's just a couple of inches further into the 12-foot.
You got that there, Sean. That was perfect.
I never know for sure until I meet them face to face and they tell me I had it wrong.
Yeah, there's a few things with the language, but for the most part, a lot of it's phonetic. They, like Satsuki Fujisawa, the Satsuki is how you'd say her first name. But yeah, it's been fun to see all these Japanese teams, the Korean teams, playing here early this season. We've had a ton of games on Curling Stadium, and to be honest, Sean, you want to know something crazy? Japan is number one on Curling Zone's YouTube traffic right now.
It sounds crazy. It sounds a little bit surprising, but in looking at the early season, and I haven't broadcast all of them, but in looking at the results of some of the bonspiels, there seems to be a lot of their teams over here right now. And
Absolutely.
I don't know whether that speaks to the fact that there's just nothing going on in the Asia Pacific region right now, so that if they want to get competition, they have to be in Canada.
It's about the growth of the tour in Japan in general. We're definitely getting a lot more events going in Japan, so you're getting more teams competing and seeing what's going on the tour. And because of that, we're getting more teams now coming to Canada to play as well. And clearly people in Japan want to watch.
With the rollout, chance now to make a play on that guard. Wants to roll into the rings here. Probably wouldn't even mind if she rolls right out. She is thinking blank here, I have to believe. On to third stones now. This is Haley Duff. The Scottish names may be a little easier to pronounce. Goes all the way across into that corner of the 8-foot area again, where they've been hitting for most of this end.
You're saying the farmer team with hammer here, confirming that. Now we have a score bug. There we go.
As long as it doesn't say 3-0 while we're still playing the first end, then it's not going to confuse me too much.
That's a good start. Let's just say it's been an adventure at times. But yeah, we're having fun with it, and James Gordon doing a ton of production behind the scenes, Rory McCusker helping out. We've got Haley Britton and Mark Nyo on commentary on our CBC game right now. Silvana Tiranzoni playing Abby Ackland. And of course, Yoshimura and Rafaela Kaiser playing in another produced game too.
Quite a weight on that hit. Still sticks for a bite of the rings, though. I think it's tight. It's close.
Review for you, Sean, and even a tighter look here.
You can see white, but that doesn't mean it's out of the rings. The camera is over the center hole, not over top of the rock. Too close to leave it there for sure. Skip is Honoka Sasaki. Her first stone here in the opening end. Looking to make the open hit. She'll need to roll a little bit towards the center line to make sure that the shooter's in the rings. A little bit of sweep at the end, try to get some extra curl. Gets just enough of a roll to be biting the 12-foot.
Pretty open end. The team's just getting feel for the ice, not wanting to do too much here, make any kind of mistakes. So, sort of standard opening here.
Standard opening, but I especially when it's two teams that I'm not that familiar with, it's always nice to watch an end like this, and you already see one difference in that the Japanese team has preferred to hit that stone from the outside in every time they've had the chance. This is now the second attempt that Scotland has gone from the inside out. Just a little difference in the preferences.
Yeah.
Beth Farmer looking to not only make this hit, she'd like to get her shooter into the ring somewhere, force Sasaki to make a play on it. And she will roll over to the top of the 8-foot. Farmer sitting one, Sasaki on her way to the hack. She's going to play the open hit, and she'll just try to stick in the ring somewhere. Might like to roll to the other side of the center line just to force Farmer to play on a spot in the ice that hasn't been thrown here yet in the first end.
It's a little game of chicken there. You're trying to get to a place. You kind of don't care if you roll out here, to be honest, right? But if you can move the house around, take a shot at it.
Well, that arm gesture from the third might suggest she was just a bit outside. They can't sweep this one too early. Now sweeping to get a little extra curl. Make the hit. But the shooter will roll all the way out of play to the divider.
So this team, the third that you mentioned there, that's Mary Motohashi. And Mary is a long-time curler in Japan, was part of Fujisawa's bronze medal team, I believe, in 2018. But she's also now the manager of Team Loco Solaire, which is Fujisawa's team. And this is their sort of farm team. So Mary takes a team of young curlers on the tour who are called Loco Stella, all kind of part of that program. So it's the way that Fujisawa, not the Japanese program, but the Fujisawa team itself is building itself out for the long term.
Well, after that open first end, the final stone thrown through for the blank. Got no score after one end. Beth Farmer continues to have last rock. We'll come back in a second.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Hello everyone and welcome to the 2022 Western Showdown, the largest international women's curling event in Canada this season. We're so glad you've decided to join us to see some of the top female curlers in the world participate in this event. My name is Jim Grundy. I'm the branch director of RBC Dominion Securities here in Swift Current. Our branch is not only a huge fan and supporter of curling in our community, we're so proud to be supporting the Western Showdown for its inaugural year. RBC is committed to working with our community partners to promote and celebrate vibrancy in sport in the communities in which we live. Thank you to everyone from the Western Showdown team for putting together this amazing event. On behalf of RBC, enjoy the tournament.
Saskatchewan, you know Sasktel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With Sasktel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you, and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. Sasktel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sasktel.com/sponsorships.
Welcome back, everyone. Second end underway here. Got the team from Japan skipped by Honoka Sasaki against the team from Scotland. Beth Farmer, all international field here. B event action Thursday afternoon from the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. After a blank in the first end, Farmer with last rock here again in the second, and you see a little bit more aggressive play here in the second end. The center guard was thrown up, then they threw up the corner, and the come around attempt you see there just coming to rest back 8 foot. First thought was to come around the center guard. With that rock being so far back, you could ignore that situation in the middle altogether and try to use your corner. They discussed that too. Looks like they're going back to the center. Critical here to be in front of the center line, or pardon me, in front of the tee line. Not much out of the sweepers yet. This might be a little deep as well. No, comes to rest top 4 foot. Maybe a piece sticking out though. Sasaki will ask her second, Hayashi, just to come down and sit on top of that stone. And again, nothing out of the sweepers early. This looks a little strong. Now sweeping to try to get some curl. They'd like to at least bump that out from behind the guard, but they're going to slide right by it. And all the way through the back. Again, Farmer asking the hack end if they'd like to come around the middle again or behind the corner. They've opted to go around the center again. This is the second, Kirsten Bussey. Comes down, nudges her own stone up just a little bit. It is Farmer sitting 2. But that second shot stone one was just delivered, almost fully exposed. Don't know if you can see quite enough to make the double. That amount of ice, you got to think she's playing the quieter hit here and just try to kill the back one and maybe stay in front of the other stone. Indication from the brushers that the weight might be a little bit down, but this is still not curling. Makes the hit, jams onto the back stone, but the shooter will roll over. Stays in behind cover for third shot right now. Shot stone, as you see, continues to belong to Farmer. It's half buried. And she'd like to use that corner guard now. Of course, that shooter just rolled behind the tee line. If she could get one around the corner guard now, she'd be protected from the front and the back. The out turn draw for the left-hander. This one's got a lot of room by the guard too. Comes to rest for second shot. I think it's close. Shooter's fully open. She's got most of this stone available. Again, looking for the freeze down to it. Third stones now. This is Mary Motohashi. Pressure's picking this one up at the halfway point. Got a nicer line on this one coming into the house. The question will be whether or not they can get it there. And it's going to come up just a little bit short. Farmer looking at making a play on that back yellow, so it might be that she thinks the yellow at the back is second shot. She indicated a couple of different things here. I'm not sure whether they're looking at the draw in front of the tee line or come to the back when I try to move it. The danger in being in front of the tee line right now is you'd leave the angle slash on the stone that was just thrown. Looks like they're coming to the back. Well, it's a question again whether or not it's going to have the weight. This is really curling. Rubs the front one and comes up just short of the rings. Okay, I'm going to take that little point to think that Sasaki thinks they're sitting second shot at the back. Of course, with that redstone that just came up short, there's no way to get to it right now. So another attempt here for Motohashi to try to maybe sit one on the corner of that redstone. Had to take more ice now to get around her own stone. Big curl on that one. It just rubs the stone at the top of the 12-foot. It will slide by the stone in the top of 4-foot. Now sits wide open. It is shot rock. look to play the hit and roll to the outside. And if you throw it quiet, you might be able to hit about half a stone, maybe a little thick part of a half, clip the one at the back, and still hold your shooter. Might be able to sit 3 with this. Saw the indication that not even necessarily looking to get both of them out. You just need to get them out of the 8-foot. She wants to play this quiet enough to keep the shooter, I think. Back and forth whether they want it to curl or not. This has got to be close. This might overcurl a bit at the end. Wow. Big movement there from the hog line in. She ends up on the nose. Does sit 2. But it is behind the tee line, and one more chance for Sasaki to get out of this end with one good freeze. Last draw curled in here from the hog line in, you have to think there might be a chance to get to the inside of the nose of that stone, just enough to get shot rock. Even if she stays just a hair on the outside frozen to it, it's going to be very difficult for Farmer to score more than one. Really started to curl at the halfway mark. They've got to get by those 2 stones at the top. One top 12 their own, the one at the top 4 belong to Farmer. Not going to get by. Just rubs off her own yellow stone, sits right there. Still, that yellow stone's in a usable spot. It's a bit of a problem for Beth Farmer. She can't really make a play on it. Looking to try to tuck around it. That actually might make a little run back on the yellow easier. Saw the indication of the shot to come off the red. I don't know if that's something they're playing themselves or something that they're worried that the Japanese might play. Looking to come around that Yellowstone that was just thrown. I don't think they necessarily want to dead bury it, but they have to bury the edge of the stone just so she can't come off of it. It'll take away the in-off on the outside red one. And all Sasaki will have left will be some kind of a raise on the stone she just threw, whether she plays it as a draw weight raise or try to hit something. Brushers picked this one up right away. Still has lots of room by the yellow. In fact, she's still on the corner red guard. Well, comes into the house for her third shot. Might have left enough room on the inside of it to get a hit and roll in, but would be tough to get any better than second shot of it. In fact, I don't think she's got a lot of air. It would be tough to get even second. Looking at the raise. The other discussion will be, if you play the raise, do you play it as just a tap up, try to tap it to the shot stone and sit in front of it, or do you play to hit something? And if you're playing to hit something, which one are you playing to hit?
That's certainly a bit of a mess, isn't it,
Yeah.
Sean?
Yeah. I think all the discussion here looks like they're going to play the tap. I think the discussion is about how much weight do we want to throw at it. You certainly have more room to play with it if you're just playing a quiet tap, not really trying to kill any reds.
It's more the shot to give up a steal of one rather than score.
Yeah. Well, if you ever tap it back absolutely perfect with the draw weight tap, you could still steal too. The problem with throwing it as a hit is if you try to throw it as a hit through that port and you ever rub one of those two red guards, the two second and third stone, the raise stone goes through the back and you're giving up 2 or 3.
And it's an open shot for it too.
Yeah.
You make a reasonably good tap here, you might only give up 2, maybe 3. And 3 would be amazing right now, I think, if you're Sasaki.
You know, they've played this draw so many times this end, and they only missed the line an inch or so here or there. A couple of it were wide, a couple of it over curled. If she's close on the line here, it's not impossible she could steal this end yet. They know the path. They just haven't hit the sweep at the right time on a couple of the last 2 or 3. Big shot here for Sasaki. Her final stone of the second end without last rock, facing 3 already. Pressure's indicating it might be a little bit strong. Line's getting close. Needs to curl a little bit more. Gets the tap, puts it onto the second shot stone, and will tap it far enough that I believe she's sitting second now.
Looks like it.
Now that stone is fully exposed. There's probably a shot there for 5.
Double for 5.
Yeah.
With that port.
Yeah, and if you're going to make a play on the yellow, you got to put it through the port anyway. I mean, it's possible you could put it through the port and miss the back one, but that would be some bad luck to put it through the port and still miss the back yellow.
Yeah. But even then, you know, you're likely to score 2 for sure. Maybe even your third point there too. So
probably your third one for sure. Yeah. Doesn't have to throw it hard, and she is fortunate in that where that yellow stayed, she can see just all of it. So really the guards aren't in play. The only thing you don't want to do here is over curl.
yeah, there's disaster waiting if you ever get close to nose.
Yeah, if it touches the stone on the button, it could be a steal, because if it touches that stone, I don't know that it gets by the other stone on the back of the 8-foot. If you jam it onto the stone on the back of the 8-foot, it may still spin out enough that you're going to get 2.
Yeah.
Big opportunity, though, certainly for the Farmer team. Coming off a loss earlier today, you'd like to have a strong start in your second game. Well, 3, 4, 5 points in the second end would count as a strong start.
I was watching Farmer play this morning in their opening game, and they played pretty well until they gave up a steal of 2 in the midway point. They missed a couple last shots, but they had some chances, and I think Stephanie Thompson got away with one a little bit there.
On the brush early, this one's still backing away from the line, now sweeping for Curl. That one tracked all the way down, and she stuffs it right onto the stone at the back of the 8-foot. So it will be just the single point for Beth Farmer. Honoka Sasaki escapes there a little bit. She'll be trailing by 1 with last rock when we come back for the third.
Sasktel Be Kind Online wants to stop cyberbullying. Want in on the action? We award up to $1,000 for youth initiatives that help spread kindness and prevent bullying. What great idea do you have to help stop bullying? Sasktel can help. Go to BeKindOnline.com and apply for a grant today. Together, we can make a difference.
Just got our shipment of logos here in for our next event, which is going to be the mixed double. As you can see, there's a few of them. There's roughly 20 logos per sheet to be put in for the mixed doubles, along with a couple extra little dots. But all our logos come from Jet Ice. They are the best logos to put in. We use them around the world, and they're very easy to install. As you can tell, this is the center ice logo that's going to be going in for the world. This is about a 4-footer by 10. It's going to look like $1 million. Their colors on their logos are always nice and vibrant. And like I said before, very easy to put in.
Sean Joyce, Jerry Gertz with you here live from the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown in Swift Current. The event action here on Thursday afternoon. Beth Farmer.
Yeah, triple knockout event, Sean. Seems to be more popular among the players, but it certainly takes a little bit of a code breaker to decipher this thing.
Yeah, I've been on both sides of it. Yeah, certainly as a player, you preferred the triple knockout. The nice thing about the triple, of course, you know, if you're still playing, you're still alive. Whereas sometimes by the ends of those round-robin pools, you're still playing, but you're mathematically eliminated.
Yeah, you're just sort of going through the motions, and I think sometimes we see early in the year those round-robin pool tournaments seem to work a little bit better. Teams want to get some games in and get some experience, but as the season goes on, this is the preferred format. And as you say, if you're on the ice playing, you still got a chip in a chair.
Do we use poker terms too? Okay, got it.
Why not?
Center guard was thrown up to start the end. The corner, you saw it just as we were coming back from the break, and the come around from Beth Farmer stopping in the top 12. See how they bounce back here. They had to be thinking they were getting a multiple count in the last end, and that last stone of Beth's, if anything, seemed to back up on her ever so slightly. They were actually on the stone looking to hold it straight for a while, and she ended up catching it way too thin.
That's the kind of thing you see a 3 or a 4 potentially coming there, and you get one, and you got to figure out how to regroup. And just remember, you got the lead. You still have control of the game. Forget what was possible.
Well, they say it's a game of inches. Sometimes it's a game of a fraction of an inch. Their come around attempt just rubs the shooter, stays out in the open, a chance to hit and roll back behind that center guard. Makes the hit, but stays right there. Only guess from the gestures, but I think some of that discussion was just to make sure that from the hack end, it looks like they've got enough room to roll behind the corner, and they do, so that's going to be the call. I'd like to keep it away from the center line if they could. This is going to be close. Makes the hit. Does roll in behind the corner. Just enough weight to pass it through the back. So it's Farmer sitting shot rock. About 2/3 behind cover on the center. And Yellowstone, where they just rolled, is in the rings, but hard to get it out. They could play the run back, but the danger there is the stone you run back, you could end up popping it over in behind the center guard. So a chance to be aggressive. Farmer wanting to play the come around from, this would be the in turn for the left-hander. There was some discussion that it looks more natural from the hack end to play this from the other turn. The problem is if you leave it half open from the other turn, you leave the Japanese a chance to hit and roll another one in behind the corner. If you're half open on this side, she's got no cover. Not going to get by her own stone at the top 12 foot and a little bit light as well, so it'll just work for a guard. Sasaki just looking at how thin do they have to hit this to maybe catch the back end of the second guard, get them both moving. She won't care if the second one goes out. If she can move it about 2 feet farther off the center line or another corner guard, that would be great. And that might bring the center line stone straight back and put that stone over the top 12 as well. She's greedy. She'd like to get everything with this one. We're on the sweep early. Catches it, catches the second one, does move it off the center line, and we'll leave it in play. The stone that was on center spins through the house without making contact with the one at the front. Farmer sitting 1, 2 corner guards, the one red one very wide, but still possibly usable. Discussion about perhaps trying to guard their own stone, but I think this is probably the safer call. This end's not setting up well for you when you don't have last rock. Third stones here. Haley Duff looking for the run back. Makes contact with the stone on the 12 foot, but not enough to get both yellow stones out. Does leave it open in the back of the 8. That hand gesture, look, they're looking for some quieter weight here. Just try to hit this right on the nose. Heel of the hand off the hip is usually the universal sign for bumper weight. Inside brusher picked this up right away. Always got to be careful. If they curl past the face, they'd be dangerously close to driving this onto their own. Well, if you knew you were going to get it by, that's the way you'd call it. You've made sure there's no double available.
That was close.
Just as a veteran skip, I would say that's just the way I called it. Yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly as you said it. If you knew you could do it like that, that'd be great. But you're pushing the limits there a little.
That's what you get the big bucks for. Billy Duff can make the attempt on the stone. And again, it's that difference that I noted in the first end is that when they've got a choice, the Sasaki team likes to play these outside in, and Farmer playing this from the inside out.
I think this is a little bit what you see from the arena ice teams versus the curling club teams. And Farmer will be training for arena ice in a lot of their prep, I think. Is that fair?
It's fair to say. The problem that I see with it in a situation like this, in a facility that you're not that familiar with, is you don't get as many rocks to read off of when the two teams aren't throwing the same shot. So looking for the hit and roll there with that the in-turn for Duff. It curls up to the nose, stays right there. Japanese team would probably like to stay there. They don't want to roll in behind cover and leave either a double or a freeze attempt. Beth Farmer with her stone here in the third inch. Could make a pass at the double if she wanted to. She'd probably have to lose the shooter, though. She's going to try one more chance to get the hit and roll in behind that Yellowstone with top 12 foot. It is a shorter roll now. Not even out of her hand yet, and Amy McDonald signaling that might be a little bit light. Boy, if they can hold the line, this is close. And you could just see it coming from the top of the house in. It ends up with a nose hit. Sasaki now will look to hit and roll back towards the corner. Get those two Yellowstones spread out. Make the roll behind very difficult. She's really had a chance here to set up her deuce without taking any real risks in this third end. Again, they pick up the brush right out of her hand here. This is definitely getting to the inside. They're going to have to go just to hold the shooter, just to make contact, perhaps. You have to think she was a little narrow on that one. They jumped it right out of her hand, and it slides through without making contact with either of those two stones. And suddenly a chance for Beth Farmer, if she can make the hit and roll on top of her own, possibly a chance here to steal.
A little bit of a struggle there on that release, and end to end couldn't hold it.
Well, they maybe lost a little wind out of their sails last end, missing an opportunity for a big end. You could get it right back here with a little hit and roll and perhaps set up a steal in the second, or pardon me, in the third. Quiet wait, they didn't pick up the sweep early enough. She does hit and stay, and I do think that rock is probably biting the top of the 12-foot, so that means Sasaki's got to play the hit and stay here for a single, no blank available. I wonder if the issue there wasn't Farmer stone from last end, which didn't curl, and she does have that little bit of a pop on her out turn release, and I think they were just afraid to sweep it early. Sasaki just needing to correct what she did on her first stone, makes the hit, flops over to the top of the button. She'll pick up her single point. We're all tied up after 3 ends of play. Beth Farmer will have last rock in the fourth.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2022 Western Showdown, the largest international women's curling event in Canada this season. We're so glad you've decided to join us to see some of the top female curlers in the world participate in this event. My name is Jim Grundy. I'm the branch director of RBC Dominion Securities here in Swift Current. Our branch is not only a huge fan and supporter of curling in our community, we're so proud to be supporting the Western Showdown for its inaugural year. RBC is committed to working with our community partners to promote and celebrate vibrancy in sport in the communities in which we live. Thank you to everyone from the Western Showdown team for putting together this amazing event. On behalf of RBC, enjoy the tournament.
Fourth end just about to get underway here. Sasaki has called for, I believe, the center guard. The lead is Ayuna Aoki.
Another one well done, Sean. You know what you're doing. You're just being all humble and,
You must mean the pronunciation, because she slid the guard into the rings.
Well, you know what you're doing at least.
Amy McDonald still being asked for the corner guard. They could hit that stone. And there's a good look at it from the overhead. The back end of that stone didn't get into the ring, so you nose hit that. You're still in the free guard zone. We would see a lot of teams play that. However, in the even ends, it's never a bad idea to throw up that corner guard and be a little bit more aggressive with last rock. Something that we've seen at the competitive levels the last few years, whereas, if you go back 10 or 15 years, teams would be aware of of even and odd ends for last rock from about 8, 9, 10, or 8-end game, 6, 7, 8. Now you see them thinking about it from the first end. You'd like to have that last rock in the even ends if you've got a chance, and try to use it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of feel to that. I think the numbers, in my opinion, the numbers don't totally roll out the same way, because at the end of the day, the other team is trying to do the same to you.
Yes.
They can also blank too. My philosophy on the even versus odd ends is anytime you're ahead, blank away. And anytime you are behind, you should be using every opportunity to try and score your twos. So
now, Jerry, I know
one with hammer, blanking is a bad idea, period.
Jerry, I know you're a big stats guy. Have you ever taken the time to put the stats together and how many points are scored in a game in the odd ends versus the even? Because of the way that these teams play them now, I think you see more blank ends in the odds.
Oh, we for certainly do. And we actually run one of our little stat tracking things where we can look at end by end scoring, and we do that to specifically see how much a team will blank. Will they blank down one? Will they blank tied? Will they blank up one? And when a team plays predictably, it's awesome to game plan against that. So if teams are always trying to blank the odds and score in the evens, then your counterattack becomes something that can be planned out a lot easier too.
Well,
I don't love that theory.
I didn't come up with it. I'm just telling you that's what they seem to do.
Oh, I know. It's what's out there. We, when we first started doing a lot of the statistics stuff and with the Black Book of Curling, one of the things we came to the table with was that up one without was actually better than down one with. People laughed at us. Now it's basically clear math year after year after year. Up one without is the 60-40 event. It's not big.
Up has always
and
been
anecdotal
the
evidence will fool you, but it's always makes for an interesting debate. That's for sure.
It does, and there's. I'm not trying to poo-poo on the stats here, but there's one of the things that stats always don't take into account is it can depend on where you're playing, when you're playing. You play on slam ice, big curl ice.
Yeah.
You're probably a little bit more willing to take your chances down coming home with last rock, because with big curl, you always feel like you've got more of a chance than you do on a straighter surface.
Like one of the things with the even versus odd thing, it doesn't make sense when you're playing a team who also blanks a lot of ends. But if you're ever playing against a team that never blanks, I think there's some value in that, because now you have the chance to control the game.
Hit and roll behind the corner guard. It's going to roll past the guard, but does stay for second shot.
Yeah, that's really the key here. Sitting 2 now, Team Farmer.
In some ways, this is reminiscent of the second end, the way it's starting so far. The Japanese playing a lot of freezes, already a little heavy on one attempt and gave up an opportunity. And there you see the little rollover sticking around, and it's kind of how things got away from them in the second end. They had a lot of Reds left hanging around when they just couldn't quite make one of these freezes. I think she's got enough of it here. She's going to make a play to remove this stone. This is the one spot that they really didn't get a lot of chance to see in the second end.
It looks like this one's taken off.
But there was one, it was one that the Scottish team played, trying to get to the stone at the back of the 8-foot and really curled hard on them. And same thing there. So there might be a little bit more curl on that side of the sheet towards the middle. I can't just say in turn and out turn. Well, we got a left-hander settle him into the hacks.
I believe the plan was to touch up the rocks this week. Ice maker Jason Broughton here at the Swift Current Curling Club. I believe I got that name right. But he's put on some amazing ice, and last weekend with the S3 group event, and now here with the major event, the major women's event.
So with touching their own stone, they push it up for second shot, but it's open. Chance for Kirsten Bousey to make a play on it. If she gets a little bit of finish here, she could actually flop in behind the corner guard as well. Now they're sweeping this one hard for curl right away. This is going to have to come a lot just to make contact. He's going to touch it. Not enough to get it out. So it is definitely the Yellowstone that was just moved over, sitting second shot. I believe third belongs to Farmer. Sasaki going back to the out-turn draw. Try to come down to that shot stone. It's over-buried on the guard. The other choice would be to play the short run back on your own stone in the 12-foot. If you can make this freeze, that stone works as a guard for you too. Brush down early, the indication now this has got a lot of room.
Yeah, that spot's just going to hurt a lot there.
Yeah. That's something that saw that in the second end as well, with Hayashi playing that same freeze in the second end. Her rocks didn't curl as much, and she slid a little deep. Now, don't know whether there's a difference in the stones or maybe just a difference in her release, because Motohashi certainly got more curl there on third stones. We'll see whether or not that happens again. They're almost committed now to where they're going to have to play that shot again. Haley Duff, a lot of room here as well. Ends up coming down to the stone at the back of the 4-foot, so it is Farmer sitting 2, but freeze still available. Losing track of the rocks. It was Motohashi who was already throwing on the last one. This is her second stone, another attempt. Still a lot of room by the guard, but it does look to be better line than the last one. Might be a little bit of a difference in the weight, and they had to wait for it to curl. Now are they going to get it there? We saw that once in the second end as well.
Just a little bit of inconsistencies with the stones, as in not throwing them consistently, not the stones necessarily.
Well, and the sweep call wasn't there as well, not necessarily from the skip, but they left that like they were waiting for it to curl, and it had tighter line. They just needed to get that about 1.5 feet deeper, and they're golden. Right now, though, what do you do if you're Beth Farmer? You can't really make a play on that stone. It's a dangerous one. You don't love the idea of throwing a center guard with last rock.
Yeah, there's angles on both sides there.
Yeah.
can draw one to the side of the forefoot there, try and sit 3. The shot they're probably playing right now is the nose tap, the one on the center line.
Sasaki, yes.
Yes.
And I don't know that you can get to the side of that forefoot. The out turn.
That corner guard
Time,
is in a tough
the
spot.
corner guard's in the way.
Like, my concern is if you throw this guard, they're going to tap the other stone in.
Oh, believe
and
me.
You're going to have to try and figure out how to get one into the rings with your guard in the way.
Viewers in Saskatchewan that are used to seeing me, hearing me once in a while at provincials, have heard Sean's rule before is you never throw a center guard with last rock. It almost always comes back to bite you. I don't know what else they do here.
Sometimes you just got to bite the bullet and say, well, I dare you.
I'd be tempted to rip the center guard.
Again, there's a T-shirt for that one too. For a bad idea to peel the center guard.
Yeah, well, there's no double on the Reds, and if she makes the tap after you peel the center guard, you've got something. If she makes this tap now, you might be trying to hold her to a steal of 1.
And if she ever threw weight at this, she could lie 4.
She could. She'd probably have to. She'd roll out of the forefoot.
Yeah. The draw would be remaining to the full 4 to score.
With that ice, she's not throwing weight at it. Now, from what we've seen, and it's only been a couple of rocks thrown down this side of the sheet towards the glass, this turn does curl a little bit more than the other side of the sheet.
Just trying to promote this up, move the red one back, try and roll that stone towards the center line and lie shot there. Worst case, this is a very good way to get the force here too.
Pick up the brush early. Needs to stay a little bit on the high side. Boy, the one way you get in trouble here is if you over curl this and drive it by. Actually, it's over curled far enough that your shooter's going to get out of the way too.
Except you open the door to let them draw their third one in now.
Yeah.
Yeah, still a mistake at the end of the day.
I'm not sure. Of course, we don't have mics on the players. Even if we did, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be able to tell you what they were saying in this case. But if she was trying to throw enough weight to kill that red stone, I don't think she had it. So I don't know if she's just a little light there.
Well, the intent
just
was
needed more
based
ice.
on the call was like back 8, back 4, back 8. Keep the shooter or that angled stone in the forefoot, and then a little bit of a wall with those red ones.
Just
and even then, that seemed to be more weight than that, though.
Well, was it? I mean, the stone that she tapped back is only sitting there just a foot behind the center line, a foot behind the tee line, and if she was making the shot she was playing, she would have had to move 2 stones. She would have hit the first one a little thicker, but she'd have had to move 2 of them. The weight was probably close if that's what she was looking for. Just not nearly enough ice. And
again, the curl spot that you were talking about.
Yeah, well, and it's only like that's the only third shot that I can think of down that side. This being the fourth, and it's possible. It's sometimes easier to, when you're watching it on a screen like this to notice the extra curl on a spot like that. And the teams might not have figured out yet. There hasn't been a lot of chances to play down here, and here's another one that they're going to have trouble getting this by the yellow at the top of the forefoot. Not going to. She might be better off to rub the top one now. little bit light as well. Does offer some protection for that stone in the corner of the button. I don't know if she can make the pick double. I don't know what else she's got.
Well, you get one of them if you do that.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think your second shot if you freeze. So there's no point playing the freeze.
A little bit of risk on the top if you ever rub that red guard. But I think your yellow in the back is still pretty safe.
Yeah. It's hard to tell, and the camera view from the hack end, there's a leg in the way too. Hard to tell if she can see enough of that. You might be able to see enough of that red to actually double the reds. She makes thin contact with the first one. Even if she jams it on the back one, kills it, it's down to one with a tough draw for two. But I think she might be able to see enough to make the double.
Yeah, I think so too. It's pretty close.
Here's finally a look at it. She can see probably just a little bit on the thick side of a half. To me, that looks like that's enough.
And it would be quite the turnaround in this end. I think Sasaki would end up laying 3, maybe 4.
Well, no, that one at the top of the 8-foot's not going anywhere. So it's only she'd be sitting 2.
Yeah.
But sitting 2 and the only chance to get a point would be to play that wide in-turn draw that we've just seen curl like crazy. Now that could be the same problem that she has here with this attempt. Is this going to curl with the extra weight? Maybe a little bit of a pop there on the release. They're going to have to wait on this to come up at all. It's not going to, no. Trying to give it that little bit at the end just to get a little bit extra weight, and I think that motion was a little bit more outside than straight through.
Yeah, I just got a little excited on it, right?
That's something you see a lot of the players nowadays will throw a little bit of extension from time to time and try to add some weight. But early in the season, when you haven't had a lot of chance to practice that yet, you may not be extending straight through your target line. And that one looked like she was just a little in-out on that extension. And that's enough to keep a rock straight. It may not look real bad from the broom end. It might look like you were close to the stick, but it'll straighten it right out. So Beth Farmer a chance now to pick up a 3rd point. She's got 2 in her pocket. Needs a bite of the 4-foot here. She had a chance to try this draw in her first one and over curled. So they've got more ice here. That'll change the path a little bit. Sweepers have to be aware of that. Looks like she's got nice line coming in here. They need to try to get half 4-foot. Come down to her own stone. Nudges it back just a little bit. Does pick up her 3 points. Beth Farmer had a chance for a big end in the second. Picks up a big 3 here in the 4th and jumps out to a 4-1 lead.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 2022 Western Showdown, the largest international women's curling event in Canada this season. We're so glad you've decided to join us to see some of the top female curlers in the world participate in this event. My name is Jim Grundy. I'm the branch director of RBC Dominion Securities here in Swift Current. Our branch is not only a huge fan and support of curling in our community, we're so proud to be supporting the Western Showdown for its inaugural year. RBC is committed to working with our community partners to promote and celebrate vibrancy in sport in the communities in which we live. Thank you to everyone from the Western Showdown team for putting together this amazing event. On behalf of RBC, enjoy the tournament.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed, more innovation.
It's going to make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
Fifth end underway here from the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. Sean Lewis and Jerry Gertz with you here live from Swift Current B-event action.
You know what, for Farmer, I think that's the breakthrough end they needed. They had opportunities in their first game, gave up steals of 1, and then 2. And even here, they kind of let one away earlier. And now there it is, 3. They finally got it.
Well, certainly that'll be the end that can help them forget that second end, pardon me. First stone here in the fifth, then brought into the top 12 foot. The corner guard, see just thrown. And now Beth asking for the tight center guard here. She probably won't mind even with a 3-point lead if she comes right into the rings on this as well. Down right on top and does stay out of the rings. Perfectly lined up to that stone, the 12 foot. Sasaki will ignore that situation in the middle for now and look to come around the corner guard. That back as far as they can to try to bury it. It's a good piece in behind. 3/4 or better. Does slide just behind the tee line. The event action, as we mentioned here earlier, winner of this game move on in the B event. Play at noon tomorrow. Loser drops down to the last chance C event. 8 qualifiers here of the 28-team field to play in the championship event. Everybody looking for their berth in the last day. Kirsten Bousey, left-hander with her U-turn, looking to follow that stone down, sit on the corner of it. Have to tap it very far to be sitting 2. Taps it just far enough. It's Farmer sitting 2. You can just see all of that stone, I think, from the hacks, but if you watch the amount of finish that the last couple of stones had coming in, got to think they've got room to make the tap back, get to the inside, roll behind the corner guard. If she could do that now, she'd be probably mostly above the tee line yet. They called the sweep on early on this one. Gonna have to go to get by the guard. And boy, if they could have a point for every feather tick they've had, they'd be doing really good. Just rubs the guard, slides through the back. Farmer sitting 2 without last rock here. Going to make a play on the corner guard. Looked at coming around room first. I think maybe had to be reminded from the hack end that we're past 5 rocks. we can peel this guard now. Makes the hit, but it's going to be a little bit thick. Does expose the 2 stones on the side, but her shooter stays for a guard. Sasaki's first thought was the freeze. I don't think they like it from the hack end. That is what they've settled on, though. Big curl here. They want to stay close to the nose. This might curl just a hair past. Nope, she stays on the nose, taps it back a couple of feet. There's a good look from the hack end. That's pretty well lined up. Beth Farmer, if she's going to make a play to get that by her own stone, she's going to have to lose the shooter. Haley Duff with the hit just off the nose. Will take her own with it. Now the question is, did the shooter roll too far? It might have rolled just a little too far. It could still be Sasaki sitting second shot. Now she does still have to deal with that one at the top if she's going to try to bring that rock back into play. Doesn't have to do it yet. So looking to come around the stone at the top of the 12-foot. The 2 reds are lined up. They're about 1.5 feet apart, so a double run through is not automatic. She'd probably like to make Beth Farmer make a play on that. She might deal with that rock at the top of the 12-foot herself. You don't want to dead bury this. If you dead bury it and she makes the double run, you're in all kinds of trouble. Half buried is good here. Had to go a little bit just to make sure it was by. Now it's going to be deep. And comes to rest, fullback 4 just behind the button. Beth Farmer asking Haley Duff to come down, sit on top of that stone. And this would drastically shrink the scoring area at this end if she could put a good freeze on here. Doesn't even need to be absolutely welded to the face, even half frozen. As you can see, those 3 stones, the 2 reds at the top and the yellow, pretty much in a dead straight line. Half around those 2 at the front and sit on the one at the back. And I don't know if you've got enough rocks left to even make this stone go away. This looks to have more room. Brushers haven't left it though. This might be a little bit light. Maybe a lot light. It's going to come up short of the rings. Well, a chance for Motohashi now to bring another one around. Catch a piece of the 8-foot. If she could ever get this to the top of the 4-foot and a sliver underneath that potential double raise, just to block off the double raise to the shot stone. Might be looking at another big end here. Shot here for Motohashi after they gave up 3 last end. A chance to perhaps set up 3 of their own here with a good draw. Nothing out of the Brushers though. This might be a little bit strong again. Could not afford to be behind the tee line. This one actually might be all the way through the house and out of play. That just hangs on to the back of the 12-foot, but it's 5th shot for now. Unlikely to come back into play. And another chance for Farmer to make the freeze. Even cold draw behind cover, top 4-foot right now would be good. Farmer with a big draw in the 4th end to pick up the 3rd point, the extra point. So had her draw weight an end ago. Chance to perhaps set up a steal if she could make one here. The Brushers picked this one up early. Still looks to have a lot of room by the guard. But again, it's another case of they have to go just to get it there. They're close. Come up just a little bit short. Now it is in a usable position for Beth Farmer, and it's a problem for Sasaki. I don't think she can get to the inside to make a play on it. Play a draw around the other side, sit 2, but that stone still going to be there to be promoted. And that's what the discussion is about. We can make the draw, but then she's going to try the tap. The problem is if you guard the tap, she guards the other side, and how do you get two? That had looked at playing the out-turn draw wide to come in for second shot. Sasaki has not even wanted to entertain that. She's more worried about this red stone that Beth Farmer just threw. She back to looking at the draw. So I think they're opting to guard the stone that Beth Farmer just delivered. I think they expect her to guard the other side, and they've even talked about their shot for two then might be to come off the stone that's right beside the broom right now. You play the hit and roll to the back of the forefoot off it to get your two. The problem if you throw this guard, make it. Beth Farmer could take away your draw. The other thing she could decide to play is that double run back towards shot stone, and if she makes it after you throw this guard, you don't have a shot to score. That one guards second shot. She's got no chance to play on it now. I think I'd be looking at that double run. It's just a nose hit on the first one. You probably stick the back when you'd have a piece of the forefoot and absolutely no way to get at it. Can't hurt yourself if you miss it, because even if you just double the two reds out of there, that's the tough port to draw through. Boy, that looks like a lot of ice. I think if you're going to play this, you play it. Haley Duff asking if she wants even more ice. I don't love the weight call for throwing it this quiet. For a shot like this, it's a little easier if you throw it a little bit more weight. You're just trying to hit something close to the nose. If you just clip the back when you're in good shape, the quieter you throw this, the less margin for error you have. And she does pop that out turn release just a little bit. have to go to hold it. This is going to overcurl a little bit. Is it going to be close enough? Taps it up, but leaves Sasaki sitting one at the back of the forefoot. Still, it's made the draw for two very difficult. It's just debatable if she can get enough of the forefoot. There's a good look from what she can see from the hack end. That guard is covering out to about 4 or 5 inches outside of the forefoot. She needs to get fully into the forefoot. There is some finish there. It'll go. But she might have to flirt with that guard a little bit. Sasaki, just a final question for the front end here. Down by 3 after giving up a 3-ender to Farmer in the previous end. A chance for 2 here, needs full forefoot with her last stone. This is one where you pretty much have to throw about top 8 foot out of your hand and let your sweepers have enough room to work it, because it's going to have to curl as it passes the guard. And one brush down early. Backing away now. Now sweeping for the curl. Both brushers picking it up. Line looks pretty good. They put it on the tee line. Boy, they didn't seem panicked about the weight most of the way down, and it ends up well short. So it'll be just the single point for Sasaki. Beth Farmer will take a 4-2 lead and last rock into the 6th end of play.
Hello everyone and welcome to the 2022 Western Showdown, the largest international women's curling event in Canada.
We asked Saskatchewan what they know about 5G.
More speed? More innovation?
It's gonna make our lives a whole heck of a lot easier.
This is what 5G looks like.
Better, faster.
Sounds like one more G. Sounds pretty good.
I don't know what it means.
All you really need to know is the future of 5G is here and will continue improving through investments in network technology.
We just got our shipment of logos here in for our next event, which is going to be the mixed double. As you can see, there's a few of them. There's roughly 20 logos per sheet to be put in for the mixed doubles, along with a couple extra little dots. But all our logos come from Jet Ice. They are the best logos to put in. We use them around the world, and they're very easy to install. As you can tell, this is the center ice logo that's going to be going in for the world. This is about a 4-footer by 10. It's going to look like $1 million. Their colors on their logos are always nice and vibrant. And like I said before, very easy to put in.
peel attempt made there. Now a chance to put the guard back. This guard slides a little bit deep. It comes into the 8-foot. Does protect a piece of that stone. Chance now for Beth Farmer to look to maybe clean up all the rocks in the rings here. Makes the hit, but just drives it by the 2 stones at the back of the 4-foot. So another chance to play the guard. Nothing out of the brushers yet. A little too deep on the last guard attempt. This one looks like it's going to come to rest just outside the rings, and good look at it there, perfectly in line with the shot stone at the back button. Looking for the straight peel on the guard, I believe, here. Well, might have been looking to run it straight through, but in doing that, she kills her own, and now the stone that was run back, not only is it covered, but it's in front of the tee. Mics on the players. That looked a little risky to be trying to run it through. I would have thought they would have been just playing for the straight peel on that one. You straight peel there, you're in no danger of giving up more than 1. As soon as you stuff that like that, now a steal of 2 comes into play. And Sasaki's team now, they've seen this in turn down here a few times. We talked about earlier in the game about having only seen it a few times, and the curls seem to be catching everybody off guard. Well, they know this spot now, and they know they can get a little bit more finish. She definitely can bury from this side. A lot of hand gesturing from the front end. I don't know whether they're worried about the weight here. She's got lots of room so far, but this is going to curl. Great line coming by. Brings it into the top 8-foot. Dead in line of the guard. That's a great shot. Beth Farmer not really any choice now but to try to run back her own. Now there is the possibility if she can make this good enough, she could run it back, get a double on the 2 yellows, and maybe leave herself sitting shot rock. She'd be happy just to get that one off the top of the button for now. Throwing her out turn actually with that broom. I thought she might have been playing the in. Sweeping at the end to get a little bit extra curl, hits it on the high side a little bit, drives it by. So Sasaki continuing to sit 3 right now. Problem for Beth Farmer with where she rolled her shooter is there might not be an out turn draw available there now. If she's drawing to give up one anyway. That might be the only shot she's got left is a draw to hold them to 1. Wouldn't be the end of the world here if you bit the 12-foot. Sweeping here as much as anything to get this to curl the last little bit. They want to protect that stone at the top of the 8. Don't want to leave the nose double. It'll curl enough for that. For Beth Farmer, that's all you got. A draw. Needs to bite 4-foot just to give up a single point here. Drawing against 3. This is the exact same shot she made in the 4th end to pick up her 3rd point. A 2-point lead here, but facing 3 Sasaki counters. This is Beth Farmer's final stone. Needs a bite of the 4-foot to hold them to a steal of 1. Cannot score here. Sweepers have been on this most of the way down. Line's not going to be an issue. Needs to get this far enough in. Maybe grab a bite of the 4-foot. Boy, did they overcook it a little bit. No, it does stop in time at the back of the 4-foot, so it'll be a steal of 1 for Sasaki. She closes now to within 1. Beth Farmer with a 4-3 lead. She will have last rock when we come back for the 7th.
Saskatchewan, you know Sasktel because we're everywhere. Because being everywhere keeps us connected to you. With Sasktel sponsorships, we get to be part of your community. We're here with you and we're here for you. It's easy to get started. All you need to do is apply. Sasktel cares. Always has, always will. To apply for sponsorship, visit sasktel.com/sponsorships.
had some questions about if our houses are painted or are they logo. Our events are always painted houses, but in the future coming out, I'm pretty sure we're going to be going to all logo houses. They're a great revenue source for any curling club. You can get your advertisements on there. And usually after the first year, the houses are paid for. It's all free money for you. So hopefully check Jet Ice out for your future in-house logo.
Steal a 1 for Sasaki in the 6th end has closed this game to within 1 as Beth Farmer with last rock here in the 7th. Sean Joyce and Jerry Gertz with you live. This is the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown from Swift Current.
Yeah, Sean, it's been an interesting game here. Steal a 1. Got to throw it over to the other Team Japan game. Yoshimura also stole 1. Also 4-3 for their opponents who have hammer. So pretty much a mirror image.
Well, Beth Farmer, a great draw with her last one, or it could have been a lot worse than a steal of 1.
Yeah, I think that was a critical make there for Farmer. You know, I think another confidence boost. They're starting to get their legs here. This is their first weekend in Canada, so obviously, you know, it's getting a little late for UK time right now.
Nice come around there. Top of the 8-foot behind cover. Yuna Aoki being asked to come down and sit on top of that stone. A little bit of brush necessary to make sure they were by. Gets to the face and actually taps it back just a little bit. Just enough to put it behind the tee line. Farmer looking for the corner freeze on that yellow stone in the 8-foot. Nothing out of the brushers yet. Needs to stop in front of this Yellowstone. Doesn't want to bounce off and perhaps leave a double. Nudges it just a little bit, but I think it's left it overlapped. Sasaki's going to look to make a play on that stone. It's a little dangerous.
Looking at the run back here.
No, I think she's looking at the straight corner freeze around the in-turn side. Her initial thought was to tap that red back, but you do have to make sure you get it at least to the nose of the inside. You sure don't want to put it onto your yellow and pop that out into the open.
Yeah, leave that kind of buried under, and then your 2 rocks outside the guard.
And this is universal in any language. When 2 players come down from the other end, that usually means they don't like what you're looking at from the hacks. It does look, again, we've got the camera view from the hack end. It doesn't look very good to the eye to try to get to the nose or the inside of that red stone. It's probably there, but it's not going to look good from the hacks.
Yeah, I think you just throw a draw at it, though. Maybe just bump it a rock, trying to get it off that yellow stone and change the angles is probably all you need to do right now.
Yeah. But even with draw weight, like if you throw T-line weight at it and you hit it on the outside, you're still going to pop that yellow out in the open. And that Yellowstone's in a good spot for Sasaki right now. She doesn't necessarily need to steal this end. In fact, she's probably happier to give up one. You steal, you got to steal the third end in a row to win this game. If you give up one here, you're 2 down coming home, but you've got last rock, and we've seen stranger things happen than for somebody to score 3 with last rock coming home. Well, they're making the play towards the redstone for sure.
What do you think about the draw the other way around instead?
Well, they talked
get to
about
the nose
that
of
as
your
well.
yellow.
To the nose of the yellow, they talked about coming to the corner of the red, I think, for the other side, and I don't mind that either. Sure want to get to the inside of this red. Starting to curl now. And she's got a beauty here. Actually, they might have let it over curl a bit. No, I think she's good. Punched it
lines
enough
those 2 yellows up really nicely.
And probably moved the red enough that it clears the back yellow, and there might be a double there. That was the 5th rock of the end, though, so Beth Farmer can start peeling guards.
Enough of a concern that they're going to rip the front straight back, it looks like.
Boy, that's pretty dangerous. I would hope this is just a straight peel call.
Looks like that's what it's going to be.
Yep.
Yeah, time of the game and number, straight peel is a smart call there.
Well, because the danger, if you run it into the pile, that you could run the yellow onto the red shot rock, which they did last end.
Leave 3 yellows in a row.
Yeah.
Behind your center guard.
Yeah, they did that last end. It almost cost them. I don't think you want to do it again, and certainly not this early in the end. Now you'll see Sasaki play a couple more center guards, and you would think that the Farmer team will just continue to peel them. And it'll be this is always interesting to me, the little game of cat and mouse here, as to who moves first, who blinks first, and makes a different play. Peel is made. Well, I wouldn't have expected anybody to blink this early, but Sasaki's looking at something. Maybe just for future reference. Looks like she's going to play one more guard at least. Lines that guard up nicely. I have to think Farmer's going to continue to peel as well.
Yeah, no real reason for Farmer to press the issue here.
Not yet.
Just keep making sure you take one with each shot. Makes the peel, gets the shooter out of play as well.
I was going to say I would expect one more guard, and it looks like she's going to make her play. I feel like this is one shot too early.
Is that one more guard, or is this a little bit like back and wait?
She's playing in. She's playing the double tap now. I would have expected one more guard. I think this is a shot too early. She's playing the double tap, up to shot rock at the back. Ideally, as you hit the top one here, you want to keep your shooter just a hair on the high side. This is going to be thin on the high side. Makes the tap. I do think Sasaki stone is third at the top of the 8-foot. There's a blast double to get the 2 stones out of the button area, but you probably lose the shooter, and that would leave Sasaki sitting first and third with a chance to hit the only red stone that would be left. Could play just enough weight to move those. She's going to play the blast. Just some hesitation from the other end. This gets you forced. You make the double, she hits the red to sit 3. Even if you make a double, she hits and you're facing 2 with your last one. Your shot to try to score multiple here would be just to break those 2 up. Back 8-foot weight, stay on top of the yellow, change the angles.
And I think you got a point to play with here too. You know, if getting 1, you're only up. The 2, the chances of winning in the last end are about the same if you give up a steal. So you shouldn't be too concerned about giving up steal of 1 here. But if you could ever get 2 or 3,
and that's why I'm saying you might be tempted to play just the draw weight tap there, because by blasting it, you're just forced. You're forced right now.
Yeah.
Your only chance to score multiple was just to break that up and not lose the shooter. And like you said, the worst case you do, you give up a steal of 1. Well, tied up with versus 2 up without. On this ice, I don't think you're significantly better off. Sasaki makes the hit here. You're going to be facing 3, so you're not going to draw. It is possible she hits this right on the nose. She might leave a triple, which would be your way out here. Might be able to get a blank if she does that. She is just a little on the high side, rolls towards her own, and I think that's probably good. I don't think there's a triple there now. You might be able to hit and roll underneath the 2 yellows. This is actually probably a spot where you want to be fairly aggressive on the roll. If you hit this on the nose, Sasaki hits it on the nose again, and you've got a tough shot to score because the 2 draw paths are kind of blocked. If you roll out here, there's nowhere she can put her last rock that you're not going to have a shot for 1. That's what you didn't want to do right there.
You may be forced to draw on your last one now.
You may be forced to draw, and both paths to the button are gone, so you're actually going to have to draw to the edge of the forefoot. Yeah, the center line's still there, and it looks like you can get to the button, but with a draw, you really can't. If you hit this on the nose, the yellow stones in the rings are going to be in the draw path to the button. You're going to be drawing past the button either way, which, I mean, it's not like they don't know how to do it. It's just, it's a different path than what you'd like to be throwing. It takes you a little outside of what you're comfortable with. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This is a shot right here. Sasaki does not want to roll at all if she can help it. Now I'm going to have to sweep that last little bit for curl. This looks pretty good. Sits right there.
Put the broom down, throw the draw. Get to the other end. Let's go.
Yeah, she took a quick look, I think, to see whether she could hit on the nose, and she maybe could on the double.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't bet the house on it. It's
close.
It's close to whether you could hit it on the nose or not.
So you know what? This is one of these ones where you better be committed out of the gate, put the broom down, and be like, I'm going to hit the forefoot. You look too much, you start to add too many other variables in your head.
She has had her draw weight. Made an
She
outstanding
certainly has.
draw for the extra
Distance
point.
for sure. She's been really good.
This is one of those types of draws, though, where you're either getting 1 or giving up 3. There is a little bit of room in between, but it would be tough to end up between those 3 stones somewhere where you're only giving up 1 or 2. Brescher's picked it up right away. Boy, still needs to curl, but they haven't let up on it yet. They may be worried about the weight starting to come now. Gets off that stone in the 12-foot. And will bring it right into the button area. Picks up her single point. Beth Farmer, key draw with her final stone in the 7th end. Will take a 5-3 lead. Sasaki will have last rock coming home.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, Bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.
Eighth end action here in this B event game, the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. Sean Joyce and Jerry Gertz with you live from Swift Current. And I say eighth end. I hesitate to say last end because I haven't looked at the stats. Jerry, you probably have, but I bet you the stats say we've got a fairly high chance of an extra end here. It is really hard under the 5 rock free guard zone to stop a team from scoring 2 when they really go after it hard. They don't need any misses. They just need to make their 8 shots.
Yeah, that's sort of the way I look at it too. If you make all your shots in this situation and nobody makes any hero shots, you get your 2.
Doesn't help for Beth Farmer that their first stone slid to the back of the button. That's certainly not where they wanted that one.
So then this becomes one of the questions then, is it better off to be aggressive here? I think it might sound crazy, but I love double center guards up to without the hammer.
That sounds more aggressive than I'd need to be, but what I would have liked to have seen, and it's probably what the call was, of course, we didn't see it, we weren't back from the break yet, but if you put that first stone in the top 4 foot, which I'm sure is where they called for it, then you might guard it with the second one. When you don't put the first one in a very good spot, well, you're not going to guard a rock at the back of the button. So now you're kind of committed that you're just trying to hold them to 2 for the whole end. Which,
really,
as we said, is really tough. It's really
playing defense now.
Yeah, you are. They really needed that first stone to be top 4 foot. Even top 8 foot. You want it to be a guardable stone. And back button is just not a guardable stone. Aoki looking for the come around on the corner now. Going to be a deep come around. The question is, will it stop in the rings at all? And I think it has slid through the back. There you can see it's through the back of the rings. That makes the decision a little easier for Farmer. She might have been playing the guard here regardless. Well, we were talking about off the top of the end, just make your 8 shots and it's hard to stop a deuce. Well, that's a miss right there. You've only got 1 free guard now because the other one's sitting in the back. So looking to make a play on the stone that was just delivered. Doesn't look like they're trying to kill it with that ice. Just try to push it behind the tee line, keep your shooter in play. Actually going by the guard now because it's a little wider and going to try to make the same play on the stone at the top of the 8 foot. Boy, that's a good awareness and a good plan B call, because if you ever just rub the top one and go through, your end's pretty much gone already.
Looks like Farmer's going to peel the corner guard here.
Peel the corner guard all day. You're hoping your shooter clears that one at the top of the center line. It's actually helping you right now, but there is some danger. You take them both, and if that happens, the rest of the end will be played in the house. Now this is really tight.
Or you just double guard your rock on the button.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's good.
You know what? It's going to take 2 shots to remove that right now.
Well, but that rock of the bum's behind the tee line. I'd be freezing to it right now.
Yeah, and then I throw another guard on it, and now you need 3 shots to get to it.
Well, you need 2 to tie. You start peeling the guards. She hits the open one, and where are you scoring 2? You've got no other
you know
guards.
what? I don't want to give up 2 here. I don't want to go to an extra end. Like, here's a chance. You throw a couple good guards, and they're throwing 2 at you just to score more than 1. You know, to get 2, they're really going to have to make some great shots. You know, you have to be careful. Be aware if you make a mistake or something happens, you might end up putting yourself into the risk of 3. But you're so far ahead on the chessboard right now that, you know, go for the death blow.
I definitely don't think if you're the Japanese, you can look to peel the guards.
No, but they're
if you peel the guards, you're done. She's looking at making a play on the guards now, just the angle that she was indicating with the broom. I wonder if she's not looking at kind of stuff the first one and roll to a corner guard. There's a good look at it, the angle that she's on. She wants to almost dead jam the first one onto the second one and roll the shooter over to be a corner guard on top of that stone at the back of the 8-foot.
Yeah, just you want to keep the guard in place still, at least one of them.
And get rid of the overlap.
Stagger.
It's the stagger on these guards that potentially is some danger to you.
There's a lot of weight here.
Yeah. Gets the double peel and kills her own stone off the edge of the 8-foot. That was just a disaster. Now, how quick can Beth Farmer sprint up to the front to peel that last guard?
Quick as you can say boo. Here we go.
You know, it was a weird thing because they've played so many quiet hits in this game, and in a situation there where they couldn't afford to make the double, that was a lot of weight. This looked a little tight out of her hand. She's going to hit it just off the nose and leaves her shooter right there, so opportunity still there.
Serve and favor back to the opponent.
Well, now I think you're freezing for sure. Even a little freeze tap.
Yeah.
And make her choose whether she's going to make a play on the stone in the rings or just peel the guard.
So some of the other games going on, Abby Ackland of Winnipeg has hammer in an extra end against Silvana Tiranzoni. Held Tiranzoni to a single in the 8th end and now has a chance to win the game in extra time.
Plenty of room by the guard, but we've seen lots of finish in this spot. Not as much on that stone. Doesn't quite get up to the nose. Left room for Haley Duff to get to the nose, drive it by her own at the back. Might even be able to get to the inside and roll in behind the guard a bit. Not that she really needs to be buried, but you just hate to leave that hit and roll opportunity for your opposition. Pressure's indicating it was quiet right away. You know this turn's going to curl. And there it goes. Going to make contact, but she rolls past the guard. Now the 3 stones at the back of the 8-foot belonging to Farmer are all kind of they are spread out, but they're all at the same level. There's a lot of chances if you can get a stone to the back of the 4-foot partially behind cover here that it could jam trying to remove it. You probably wouldn't even hate if you were Sasaki right now coming right down to that one. If you could force Beth Farmer to try a draw right now, you're not in bad shape.
Yeah, one good shot here, and the tide may turn a little.
Again, perhaps a little panicked on the brush there. They could have let that go, but comes down, nudges that stone. She looks to be probably a third behind cover.
I certainly don't mind enticing Farmer into a draw here.
No, I don't either. That might be your chance for... 3's not out of the question yet.
Yeah, a little heavy, bounce off, and try and hit and roll underneath, or you draw underneath again, and then all of a sudden it's a little bit knee-knocking for the Scottish side.
Yeah. Yeah, those 3 red stones across the back of the 8-foot are not helping them. It's rare when you're sitting 3 and it's actually working against you.
So yeah, there is enough yellows left to score 3. Had to double check myself.
Rushers had picked this up early, but now waiting for it to curl and going from the offside, trying to get a little extra curl. Again, might have been a little panic brushing early that had plenty of weight and didn't curl enough.
Yeah, if you let that go, it might curl up some more.
Yeah. Well, and it seemed like they wanted to jump it early. Now, that could be nerves. It could be adrenaline. You wanted to make sure you were there.
Yeah. Well, when you talk about this directional brushing and trying to push those stones over, it's almost as if, if you could have taken 3 feet off the weight off of that, it would have probably curled another half stone.
Well, there's been a few people that I know that talk about it. Eugene Ritzik is one that's done some research on it, and I tend to agree with them that it's one of the things that you see with a shot like that is they forget that when they're trying to sweep it to curl like that, you're still dragging it a little bit as well. So
yeah,
that rock would have been better with a few feet less weight, and they swept it most of the way.
Yeah, if the difference there was between backline and hack, it probably doesn't matter.
No, yeah. Now the question for Sasaki is just exactly what are you trying to do with this? And I think the call is get to the nose and tap it back about 1.5 feet.
Just past, sit 2.
Just past, sit 2. And yes, your shooter's going to be open, but I don't know how she gets it out with all the rocks that are going to be behind it. You could even get just a sliver past the nose would probably be okay. You actually probably want to keep your shooter fairly open, though. And that way, if Beth Farmer has no choice but to freeze onto it, you'll be able to play the squeeze to get at least 2. If you roll behind here, Beth will try some kind of freeze again, and you may not have a way to get hers out. She's not going to be moving it. So it is still Farmer sitting one at the back of the button.
Guard?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You might have to guard here. Because I'm not seeing any safe way to get those yellows out. If you guard, there's no shot for 3. She'll have to run a guard in just to score 2. Boy, if you play that corner freeze and ever just rub off.
Yeah.
That's a hard miss.
You would then hit it hard. The red would go onto the yellow. The yellow would stay.
Which would stuff on the back red. Yeah, this is dangerous.
Yeah, you got to leave this one like hog line.
Well, that's what, and they indicated like they're corner freezing the yellow, but how does a halfway guard on that line, how is that any different than corner freezing it? You know, it's the same thing. But if you ever bounce off on the corner freeze, you lose. If you throw the guard, the only shot that Sasaki's got is she's going to have to pick one of the guards, run it back onto the yellow, onto the red, and stick everything just to get an extra end. And really, that's still going to be there if you make the corner freeze.
Top 8 would be great. Stop sweeping.
As long as you overlap it, it's okay.
Well, there's the game winner.
Well, she made the shot, but the same shot that she was going to play anyway is still there. It didn't change her shot. She's still playing the red onto the yellow, onto the one at the back of the button for the tie.
Correct.
But you could have thrown that rock 10 feet lighter of that, and that's still all she would have had left.
Well, she made the call. The challenge is another foot heavy.
Exactly, and you lose.
The other way around, and you're teasing with the edge of where you need to be.
Yeah.
There's no reason.
There was just, you didn't gain anything by coming that extra 10 feet.
Still a heck of a shot by Beth Farmer. You know, this sets up likely the win here. Hail Mary coming right now. What do you think, Sean? Bring it home.
Well, she needs just a hair high. We certainly have seen with any extra weight here, these don't curl very much. So I expect her to be close. But when there's that much room between them, you got to be more than just close. Nothing out of the brushers. It's going to be a little too high, I think. Drives it by, clips the red, pushes the yellow out, and it's actually, looks like just a steal of one, but that's enough. Beth Farmer picking up the victory here in B event action. She'll move on to play at noon tomorrow. The Sasaki team drops down to C. They're still alive, and all of these teams looking for one of the 8 playoff spots here at the RBC Dominion Securities Western Showdown. I want to thank you for joining us here on this Thursday afternoon, B event action. My name is Sean Joyce on behalf of myself and Jerry Gertz. Thanks for joining us. Stay with us all weekend for all of the action here from Swift Current.
Imagine being able to stream every curling game from every sheet from any event, be it your Wednesday league game, bonspiel, or corporate event. Curling Stadium offers an all-inclusive streaming solution featuring high-quality cameras, ease of use, great reliability, and minimal installation. Offering your sponsors customizable ad space on your streamed curling games and being able to sell video packages to your corporate events for increased revenue. With Curling Stadium, you can stream to any device, be it your mobile phone, tablet, or computer. Push the feed to your desired platform, be it Facebook, YouTube, or any other social media. Curling Stadium is simply the way forward. Where it's commonplace in other sports to televise every game, we want to do the same. Curling is a global sport, and it's time it gets the coverage it needs. Make your curling club the next Curling Stadium.